I'm going to go over a push-up movement pattern. So, if you are a beginner, I'm going to show you how to do an elevated push-up. You say, well, why can't I do it from my knees? Well, you can do them from your knees. There's no problem with that. It's just that if your goal is to eventually to be able to perform a proper push-up, coming from your knees does not involve as much core strength and lumbopelvic stabilization. So that's key for performing a proper push-up, a full extended push-up. So I'm going to show you your level 1. So you can do it from a wall or you can do it from an elevated surface. So I actually have a counter stool here. So you can do a chair as well, but it's harder. So it makes sense that the lower you get to the ground for your push-up, the harder it's going to be. So most important thing to remember is core engagement and proper placement of your hands in alignment with your chest. So many times you see push-ups where people are like this and they have their hands right under their elbows, right outside their shoulder joints. Well, if you're doing push-ups like this, you're going to hurt that joint. Your shoulder joints don't like that. They are not like your hips. You cannot do that without some kind of level of discomfort. And some people are actually hypermobile and they don't realize it, and they're doing them like that and they're actually causing themselves injuries. So what you want to do, if I'm getting ready to do them from my elevated surface, I'm going to take, because the chair's not very wide, I'm going to take the handles. Here's the most important thing, is you come into your plank, you engage that core, you squeeze the bum, and you take your chest, you lead with your chest, and your elbows come into the form of an arrow. So, if I were to come out like this and have my elbows like this, right beside my shoulders, I would injure my shoulders. So, because this is an awkward chair, I'm going to show you like this. I've got my handles here and I'm coming out. And as you can see, my elbows actually line up with my chest. My shoulder blades are back, my neck is in line with the spine, I've got my abdominals tight, my butt is squeezed, my quads are tight, and I'm coming down leading with the chest. So the other thing I never ever want to see any of you do is come down into a push-up and then drop your neck. So this is what we call neck-ups. This is so not good for your neck. Also for this whole area, from your traps to your shoulders to your neck. You have a 25-pound bowling ball, like I say in my spin class. If you're hanging it down the whole time, it's putting a lot of pressure on your cerebral spine. So your push-up movement pattern will be inhibited there, and you won't be able to go very far with it. So that is a normal push-up. So if you want to do it from the wall, you would do it from the wall that way. So what I would do is I would line up my hands with my chest, step back, and have them a little bit wider than chest, and have them come out to the side. So if you watch me from the back, my elbows are not up here doing a push-up. I would line them up with my chest to the side, hands push up and back. So you can see how my entire back and my elbows are in push-up mode. They look like an arrow. So if you think of an arrow, at the bottom of the arrow or at the top, there's a little bit of a triangle. And even in the little feathers at the bottom, they come into that same shape. So doing them from the floor, you're going to do the same thing. So when I coach from the floor, I get down to the floor. I tell my clients to actually take their hands slightly wider than their chest. They don't have their elbows up, and they're going to come up into that plank. Engage the entire core, neck in line with the spine, and they're going to lead with their elbows, or lead with their chest, come down, and tighten those abdominals, come back up. So you don't have to touch your chest to the ground each time. You're going to go to where you can go. As we get older, it's known that our wrists get stiffer and our joints get stiffer. So if you have a hard time going all the way down, it's really full flexion with your wrists. So when you start doing push-ups, if you imagine your hands that they're screwing a jar shut and they're pushing your fingertips into the floor, it takes a little bit of pressure off. But again, if it hurts, don't do it. You could grab a set of weights to hold on. As long as you're not like this, you're like this. Okay? So, I'm going to get you to start with whatever works for you, whether it's against the wall, whether it's on a chair, on a bench, or on the floor. You're going to do push-ups. You hate push-ups. You don't have to do them, but it is a really important movement pattern for life to be able to get yourself up off the floor. So, if you insist on doing knee push-ups, make sure your arms are in the right position and you're tight through your core and you're on the top of your knees, and you can do that as well. I'm not going to say you can't. It's up to you. I'm not that kind of a trainer. So, I'm going to be doing some push-ups, we'll be doing some mountain climbers, we'll be doing things where we use our wrists. So, if you really have wrist issues, the trick that I use with everybody is I get them to take a set of weights where they have enough room for their fingers to clear the floor, and I get them onto the floor, holding on to their weights. And they've got their plank, and whether you're doing mountain climbers, planks, or push-ups, you can do them with the weights. And that takes a lot of pressure off your wrists. So, let's see how we do with those. And that is push-up lesson 101 for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Thank you.